Hello everyone and welcome to Math 025 online for summer 2018. I'm your instructor, Professor Tacey. The purpose of this orientation is to get you familiar with the requirements for this course and how this course is going to work this semester. Note that this is a 10-week semester, so everything that you would have been doing in a 15-week semester, well, now you're doing it in 10 weeks, so you've lost 5 weeks. So when you look at the modules and you look at the course requirements, keep that in mind. It's the same amount of course material you would do in a regular semester, however, we have a shortened timeline. The first thing that I'm going to show you is our Canvas page. So let's take a look at this first module, which is the course information. So how the course works. So week to week is pretty similar. The first thing that you should do is look at the weekly announcement, and that'll give you the checklist for what's due. So I lay out exactly what has to be done every week to complete that particular assignment. You're going to watch and take notes from the videos under the weekly module. So this is basically taken from my lecture notes. I've made videos out of them, and then they've been posted on YouTube. So you can watch these videos on your phone. You could download the Canvas app, and that'll allow you to watch the videos through there. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. However, there is a lot of other material there because I teach several different online courses and hybrid courses. So if you just have the Canvas app, you can watch the YouTube videos through the Canvas app as well. You're going to do all of our homework and our quizzes are through MyMathLab, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. You're going to complete a lab if it's assigned. It's just basically a one-page front and back handout that you're going to complete so I can see how you're working through the material using actual handwriting, since that's what your tests are going to be like. And it's really good practice for your tests since your tests are very similar to this kind of structure. And then you're going to scan it and upload it to a Dropbox. And then again, if there is a discussion assigned, you would do it for that particular week as well. At the end of each unit, there is a test. You're going to complete a test review packet and ask any questions. I try to give a little bit of time during the testing week. If you have any questions, that I will make myself available online for you to ask me anything that you have. You're going to review my testing guidelines, and then you're going to go take the test in the testing center. Any grades, I try to get back to you within 7 to 10 days. So the labs usually take me a few days to grade it, but I do post the solution the day after it's due. So even if you don't have your grade, it's not that big a deal because you'll have the solution right there. Tests usually take me a week to grade because I make sure that I have all of the tests before I even start grading them. So that nothing gets graded until we pass the actual due date. Anything that you do in MyMathLab, I will transfer the grade over. So that is especially true for your quizzes. I will transfer that grade over for you. When it comes to tests have to be proctored. There is no online testing at Brookdale in the math department. So everything needs to be taken in the testing center, or you can take it on another Brookdale campus. So say you're really close to our campus in Freehold, the test can be taken there as well. The only thing that is different about that is that you do have to make an appointment to take a test anywhere else that is not Lincroft. Lincroft is just kind of, you walk in, you give your ID, and they give you the test. If you want to take it in Freehold, you have to make sure that there's someone there to proctor, which is why they require an appointment. So just look up the phone number, give them a call. It's really very easy to make an appointment. If either one of those options do not work for you, you need to let me know as soon as possible. Like this very first week would be ideal before we even get near our testing week. Okay, required materials for the course. So the required material is MyMathLab. So that is your ebook, your homework, and your quizzes. It is a code for this website access that has all of the information that you need for the course with respect to the textbook. So you could purchase this in the bookstore. It's usually like $15 to $20 cheaper if you purchase it directly through MyMathLab. So you could just click on that link there. Make sure that you get MyMathLab and not MathXL. There is A significant price difference because MyMathLab actually has the ebook, MathXL does not. MathXL, even though it is a Pearson product, is a totally different product. So if you try to register that with my course code, it's not going to work. Make sure you purchase MyMathLab. You need a graphing calculator. What kind? Well, TI-83 or 84 is what's recommended. I know the Casios tend to be cheaper. I don't know how to use those, but I'm sure there's plenty of people on YouTube who do. You cannot use a TI-89 or a 92. Those are prohibited, and it says it right on my testing sheets. You want to have some sort of notebook because you should be taking notes from the video lessons. Again, pretend like you're in my class. That's exactly what you should be doing. You should have some pencils and then a ruler, graph paper, that stuff, because we do have quite a bit of graphing by hand. Okay, our course information. So this is kind of like the nitty-gritty. So again, my information, please contact me exclusively through Canvas. Try not to email me through the Brookdale website, only because I don't check it as often in the summertime. But Canvas goes directly to my phone because I have the app, and I could usually answer you within a few hours. I have our MyMathLab course ID, and then I have all of our requirements for the course that I'm going to go through, and then just how our weeks kind of break up. Okay, so you can see when each test is due. All right, so your grade is comprised of the following activities. The first is homework, so that's completed through MyMathLab. I do attach due dates to it, but I actually keep the homework open for the entire semester because if you want to go back and keep practicing or raise your grade a little bit, I want to give you that opportunity. Try not to let it go too far behind, only because there is quite a bit of work. Again, remember, you're taking a 15-week course in 10 weeks. So that, kind of adds to the workload in itself. Generally, the longer looking assignments tend to be the easier ones. I try to keep them as short as I can, but it is what it is. At some point, you have to have certain questions that you need to master. Discussions are semi-weekly and they're completed through Canvas. For the summer, I usually do a few. I don't do a ton of discussions. So because I don't do a lot, you really, really should try to make sure that you complete all of those discussions. But they're in Canvas, and you'll see, again, it'll be on our checklist. You'll see where to locate it within the module. Quizzes are due weekly. Again, that's through MyMathLab. So you have 2 attempts to take a quiz. So you have attempt 1, you try it out. Then you go back, you try to remaster those things that you got wrong, and then you do it again. So your second attempt will be different numbers, but it's the same type of question. They are untimed, so you could sit there for an hour if you want to. Okay, but really the best way to take these take these quizzes is to not use your notes. Really try to, assess what you know and what you need to work on. Labs are also due weekly. For the most part, it'll be every week, and it's really just a way to review that week's material, and it really helps you prepare for the test and how I'm going to ask your questions, how you'll see my formatting. It kind of gets you used to that. Labs are submitted electronically through the Dropbox on Canvas. Each lab will have its own Dropbox, and I'll show you that through the modules. All work must be shown for credit. Again, just like a test, you have to show all your work if you want full credit. Please send black and white scans, not photos. I will not accept photos because I can't really read them. I try not to print all of the labs from you because I want to try to, reduce that paper waste. And photos are very, very hard to read sometimes when it comes to trying to see your work. Black and white scans are the best. I use this app Genius Scan. They have a paid version, but there's also a free version. And I have a tutorial that goes along with it. So basically, you download this app, you scan your work, it takes a picture of it, it translates that picture into a black and white scan. You can either email it to yourself or send the file, you could save it to your Google Drive, and then you upload it to the Canvas Dropbox. It's really quite easily. Please do not email me any labs. Again, everything should be in that Dropbox because once that due date has passed, I'm going to go to the Dropbox. I'm going to look at who's given me work. That's what I'm going to grade. I'm not going to go searching through emails trying to find where everyone's work is. I want everything in the same spot. Each unit ends with a test. Again, that's proctored in the Brookdale Testing Center. That's in the bottom floor of the Carr building. Tests are cumulative. So that means test 1 is on unit 1 material. So that should be kind of your easiest test because it's on the least amount of material. Test 2 is on unit 1 and unit 2. So from the start of the course all the way to where we end unit 2. Test 3 is a final. It's on the entire course. You'll have a review sheet and some guidance on what to expect for each test. Again, if you have a situation where you can't take the test in Lincroft or at another Brookdale location, you really need to contact me as soon as possible. Okay, and then our grading scale. So homework and discussions are 10% of your grade. So that's a letter grade right there. It's just making sure you do your homework, which again is open all semester. So if you don't get it done the week that it's due, go back and finish it. The discussions, again, they'll be on a topic that I choose, and then just make sure you get it done. Don't forget about it. Your quizzes are 5%. Your labs, again, those are those handouts. Those are 10%. And again, you show all work. I give partial credit. That helps your grade out a little bit. And then each test. So the test scale, the 20, 25, 30, that's set by the department, not by me. So just so you know where that's coming from. And again, just like with the labs, you show all your work on your test. I can give you partial credit, and that always kind of helps boost the grade a little bit. There are no extra credit options available in this course because there's plenty of places for you to get a lot of credit. Having the homework open all semester, making sure you get those discussions done, having 2 attempts to take a quiz, having those paper labs and showing your work and getting partial credit on those. You have lots of places to bulk up your grade where it's not on a particular test. All assignments and your due dates will be listed in Canvas. Okay, and then the last part of this is just how our unit is going to break down for this very short semester. But really, I want you to keep in mind what your test dates are. So you have a full week to review and take the test. Okay, our course runs from Wednesday to Wednesday since that was the start of the semester. But I know it's hard to get to the testing center in the middle of the week if you want to, use as much time as you can to study. So I always kind of extend that testing week into the following Saturday since the testing center is open on Saturday. So just make sure that you get your test done by this final date right here. Okay, some important links is the MathLab webpage. The MathLab is open during the summer. So you could take a look at their schedule and hopefully some of those hours work for you. And then the testing center. So when you're going to take your test, if you're taking it in the Lincroft Testing Center, just make sure that it's open before you go there. Give yourself at least 2 hours to take the test. It may not take you 2 hours. It probably won't take most of you 2 hours. It'll probably take you, I would say, anywhere between an hour and an hour and a half to take the test. But make sure that you give yourself those 2 hours in case you want to go back and review some more information or review your work, go back and try a problem again. You just don't want to be rushing when it comes to the test. So now we have our weekly modules. So once we have labs that are handed in, I will post solutions the very next day. So every week you're going to go to the announcements tab. We have week 1 already open, and this is a big week because this is where we're getting registered. This is where we're getting to know our course a little bit. So you're going to go to the week 1 module. You're going to watch the orientation video. Well, that's what you're doing right now. You're going to take the orientation quiz. For an extra 5% added to your first quiz grade, upload a photo of yourself so that I can meet you guys a little bit more. So you just go to the account on the left right here, settings, and then click on the circle and you can upload a picture. And then lastly, you want to register for My Math Lab. You get 2 weeks for free with My Math Lab, so there's no reason not to register for it. I understand that it is a little bit pricey, but you have 2 weeks for free. You'll see what the price is. If you're waiting for financial aid or if you're waiting for a paycheck, you have those 2 weeks to just get started right away. This week we're looking at Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. For most of you, it really should be a review. So this is problem solving, solving simple linear equations, looking at equations of lines, graphing equations of lines. Again, most of it really should be review, but if it's not, there are lots of videos, and I always try to throw in some extras of prerequisite stuff in case you need that extra little help. Okay, and the last assignment will be to complete Lab 1 and upload it to the Dropbox. So let's go to that first module. Again, this is a much larger week because we have a lot of things going on trying to get everything registered, and we're doing, 2 chapters that are a little bit on the easier side. So here we go. We have our orientation video, so if you want to watch it again, the orientation quiz, and I will adjust that due date. And then the My Math Lab registration information. So there's another video that really details the registration of My Math Lab and going through what My Math Lab has for you to help. Our My Math Lab course ID, here's another place where I've listed it. Okay, our first discussion. It's very, very easy to write into the discussions. You're just going to reply. It's just a threaded type of system. Pretty easy. Okay, but then here's kind of the bulk of our work here. So again, I put a lot of extra videos in here. A lot of these tend to be pretty short, especially at the beginning. But if there's things here that you know how to do, you don't have to watch that video. Watch the things that, especially at the beginning, the things that you really don't know how to do, that's what you should concentrate on. But if you know how to, do unit analysis, or you know how to solve linear equations really well, maybe watch 1 or 2 examples, but don't sit there and, spend time on things that you know how to do. And then this is all prerequisite stuff. So again, if this is stuff that you've seen recently and you know how to do it, don't worry about watching it again. Okay, lastly, these are just kind of reminders so that it has it in your calendar on Canvas of what's coming up and what's due. So in My Math Lab, you'll have your first homework assignments and your first quizzes. So here I am in My Math Lab, just so you can kind of see the layout. You see here's your homeworks. And then under quizzes and tests, there are your quizzes for Unit 1. So everything in Unit 1 is open for you. You could also see the different chapters of the book. Pick a chapter, pick a section, and then you can look at the textbook from there. Okay, the last thing for this week is your first lab. So this is on linear equations. You're going to print, complete it, and scan it back to me. So here's the handout. They're all PDF, so it should read on any kind of computer. Then once you're ready to submit it, you're going to go to the Lab 1 Dropbox. You're going to submit the assignment. So if you want to see a tutorial on how to scan it, I have that right there. You're going to browse for that file of that scan, and then you're going to submit it. It's really quite easy. And as you can see, the other weeks are not as intense with the amount of work. Again, the work looks like a lot, but this really is kind of stuff that you should know how to do. Okay, we have week 2. Again, same kind of setup, videos. I put a file here with the applications, so you didn't have to worry about writing those in, by hand. You could just write right on the slide. And then, again, your reminder of your homework in MyMathLab, your lab, and your lab Dropbox, because every lab has its own Dropbox. Your Test 1 review sheet. You have all those questions to practice. Then you have full solutions that I've done. So you could see all the work for those. And then our testing guidelines. So when you go to take the test, there's a few things you want to make sure. You want to make sure that A, you have the correct test. So make sure that it is my test, Professor Tacey, that should be right in the upper right-hand corner. And you should see Math 025. I teach, again, several online and several hybrid courses. They all take tests in the testing center. You want to make sure that you have the right test. Okay, the other thing that you want to make sure is that you have the right test number. So you don't want to walk in taking test 1 and then they give you test 3. So again, all of that should be listed there. And right under where it says where you're going to write your name, you'll see right below it which test number, test 1, 2, or 3. So make sure that you take the right test. Also make sure that you bring your pencils and your graphing calculator because they don't have those to provide to you. Okay, the last thing is your grades. So you'll see as we start going through the material, so you see some old due dates in there that'll be updated shortly. But here's our Unit 1 due dates right in here. Okay, for the MyMathLab homework, I usually do one grade at the end of the unit. So, and then I'll update that at the end of each unit since I know some of you will go back and you'll do more work to improve that grade. So that's why you'll see like zeros in here for now. And that's pretty much it. The other thing that I have to show you is that you'll see in the calendar, that's why I put that in our modules so that you see what's due every week. Again, another place where you get to see all the due dates in one spot. So if you have any other questions, feel free to send me a message in Canvas, but I hope that I've shown you a pretty good overview of all the different requirements in the course, and I look forward to working with you this semester.